What's up, guys? For those that don't know, I'm Josh. I've been told I need to say that. I'm sorry. Alright guys, well, I'm gonna install those guys into there. So I haven't used one of these since high school, so over 20 years. See if this one's worth its salt or not. But if everything works out, it should be relatively painless. One of the things I'm doing here to make installation easier, I got some cheap Harbor Freight zip ties that I don't mind just using quick and throwing away to keep my VTEC pins compressed. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm using dual long pins in here, so all these rockers are engaged all the time. I don't use the low cam and high cam. So now this allows me to pull this out. They stay together. It's easier to install. So, quick tip. So, look at how bronzed this is. It's just years of carbon work, bone stock. It did its job. These went a 986, if I remember right. They've gone a 6017 in the 8th, so they did their job. But you take and compare spring for spring. There's an obvious difference in the slick fab. So that's what you're looking at. Slick fab springs, SuperTech titanium retainers, factory keepers. And now I'm going to move on to the other head. Also, before I move on, need to do a valve lash on it. I don't have the nifty tool, so I make do. Yeah, don't remember tightening this tight, but I guess I did. Now you'll see this is the other head here, that nothing here is as bronzed as the other head was. This is a known problem for J series. You get one bank is much hotter than the other. When longitudinally mounted, don't really have to worry about it, but when it's transverse mounted, you have one bank to the back. Oil tends to sit there longer, gets baked in more. So that's what this side looks like. Alright, it's got the valve springs all in there. This kit worked pretty good. It was $14 and change on Amazon. I'll go back and find the link and I'll put that in the description if any of you guys want to buy it. That's a pretty good tool for less than 15 bucks. Alright, we got our rocker assembly reattached. Valve lash is done. Looking good. definitely a lot harder to rotate. And now we can rev this thing well past 8 grand if we want to. We're not going to. We're going to go to 8 grand. That's the plan anyhow. So yeah, they're both done. Alright guys, I've got block ready to get assembled, pull all the mains. As you can see, it is clean as clean can be. Took it up to Dustin at Performance Porting in Fort Lupton, Colorado, and asked him to clean the block for me. He did a killer job. So we got our bearings. There's your main bearing kit. Brand new, King. And there's your rod bearing kit. These are their XPs. So yeah, I like King bearing. They are who I use. Looking at the mains, I mean, they're silver. They're not black anymore. They're silver. Like, it's clean. Alright, I've got all but the center cap. That's number 3 in line seated. The only reason I didn't do that one yet is because I wanted to show you guys. Got our thrust bearings in there. Grooves facing out. Allow oil to pass in between the wall of the crankshaft and the bearing itself. You can stop our thrust forward and back. Alright, we're all torqued down. The specifications that I found say 54 pounds on this guy, 36 pounds on the side. I'm not positive about that, but I seated him to that spec right now. I'm going to continue building, and after the sun goes down, I'll go look through more specs and see if I need to come back and retorque this. Alright, well, it's pretty late at night now. Got the rotating assembly done. If you're wondering why that piston's dirty, the rod was on that broken guy. So I went into my stash and grabbed another piston. It's dirty. So yeah, tomorrow I'll be getting the seal, oil pump, pretty much getting everything on the bottom end except for the heads. And then I'll stick it in that guy. Alright, well, I waited a couple days for this wind to die down. It hasn't. It keeps kicking up when I get home from work. However, it is warmer, so with these guests, I'm going to put this engine up in the air and hopefully not drop it on my car. Yeah. Alright, well, it's still windy. And it's been about an hour and 20 minutes. She's in. Completely mounted, torque converter's hooked up. All the fuel, oil, and coolant is hooked up. Need to put the intake manifold on, do all the electrical, and then go get supplies to plumb our new breather can in. And she is ready to rock. So, since we're getting some clouds, I'm going to call it for now. We'll pick back up tomorrow. Now we've turned a new corner of stupid here. Had an epiphany making dinner last night that I may have forgotten an O-ring. The O-ring that I think I might have forgotten. So, this is the rear of the block. This is the rear main seal. There's this O-ring. It seats right there. That is the oil galley. It feeds all the mains, the heads. I mean, every bit of oil goes through there. And I am fearful that I do not have one on the car. I don't remember for sure. And because I don't remember for sure, I'm going to take the whole engine out, take the flex plate off, take the adapter off again, pull that plate, See if one's there. If one is not there, put one in, re-glue it, put the adapter plate back on, put the engine back in, get it all hooked up again. At least this time I know I don't have to disassemble the engine itself, so I'm leaving a lot of things on. So leaving the alternator system on, leaving all the wiring on. The only thing that makes taking the engine in and out a pain in the butt is the steering rack. And that's because my oil filter kind of overlaps the rack there. In order to get it to do that, I had to make this little spacer, and it's glued on one side and O-ringed on the other, so I really don't want to take it off if I don't have to. So we're going to attempt this like this. I've already got the transmission released, and I've got my saddle mount down there released. I'm going to hook up my chains, get the hoist over here, and start lifting, see if we can't get this out fast. Oh, got her out, got her down. So here's our galley. I wish Honda would have just plugged that. I think that if we ever go billet, or on my next one, I might tap that hole and put an MPT in it. Can't go too far because there's a hole right there. It's upward at that point for the rear. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a stupid thing, but luckily it was there. So I did need to do this. However, you cannot buy peace of mind. So now we know it's there. I'll get it glued back in, throw the engine back in again, and this time we're gonna fire it. All right, well, the sun finally came out. It's getting warm. It's in. I still got button some stuff up. I got 4 more transmission bolts. Turbo's got to get up. Oil filter housing's got to put back on. Reconnect the wiring, the plumbing, put the intake hat back on. Throttle cable, and it's already got oil in it. We should be good with that. I'm tired of pulling this engine. Well, we're ready to fire. Everything's in, buttoned up. She just doesn't have enough juice, so I got her on the charger for a little bit. We're gonna swap out these headlights. New, old. So yeah, I'm gonna get this done while we're waiting. While we're waiting, we're gonna do tail lights too. This is the only one I won't be able to change out right now because I have to rewire the car and move the switch and stuff. But the other 3 lenses are going in. They're right there. Got the headlights in. Old and dirty. New and shiny. So yeah, should be looking pretty again. Got this test done. She's looking much prettier. It's got that one guy left. Have to wait though. Yeah. I'm liking it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Headlights are definitely 1,000 times better. All right, next up, we'll be firing it as soon as the batteries are done charging. Yeah. Well, that wasn't good. Something just stopped this baby in a hurry. I think we're fucked. Alright, I'd stop. It's dark. It's getting cold. It's in the 30s again. Pulled the driver's side head off, saw some witness marks on the pistons, figured it was bent valves. Took spray cleaner in the intake side, leaked straight out. So I went and replaced the valves on that side. Put that head back on. Put the pan, baffle, and pickup back on. Turbo drain returns are back on. I'm contemplating pulling the passenger side head off and doing the same thing. Just swap all the valves out just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to sleep on that and we'll pick up again tomorrow. I'll show you guys what I'm doing on this side. I got the head set up. All the valves are closed. Spray in there. So there you go, that one's bent valves. That one's also bent valves. I need to do the exhaust too, but I gotta get it propped up, so sit tight. I don't want to take this exhaust burner off, so we're gonna... Yeah, exhaust is bent on that side. And on that one. That one's actually sealed. Alright, so I'm going to change out all the valves anyway and put it back together. Alright, well, hopefully my GoPro doesn't die on this. It is all back together again. I made sure to put a lot of tension on this guy. I mean, realistically, I don't know if I went any further out on that. I think my bolt might come out of my tensioner. So I've never been nervous to start an engine before. Well, it did it again. Exact same thing. I took the damper off. I know the timing was good. I went over it several times before I ever tried to fire it. I'm so incredibly frustrated right now. Alright, I don't know if this is plan G, H, I have no idea. But here's what we're doing now. I got those sets of A1 heads. I'm going to pull the A4 heads off, put the valve springs on those, lock the rockers. Go back into the engine, pull the oil pump out, inspect it, make sure it's still intact. Put it back on, put the relief valve back to stock, take the shims out, and use a different belt. I've got one somewhere. If not, I'll go buy one. But that's what we're gonna do. It is Tuesday, about 2:30 right now. We're gonna make it to IFO with gunmetal. This is what we're doing. Alright, well, just found out what happened. The cam seized. This is the passenger side head. So apparently there must have been something, I believe in this journal here, is there's some pretty solid material coming out of that. That could be from the cam, but I'm pretty sure that there was a pocket of material that I didn't catch when I was cleaning everything, and it got up through here. Now luckily, when I pulled the oil pan off earlier after the first time we jumped time, I drained the oil, and so the oil that's in it is fresh. So yeah, these heads aren't going back on. We'll take our plugs out, our MPTs here, we'll put them in another set later. Those heads definitely going on. I'm gonna put the valve springs on those valves, and we're gonna try this again. Alright, I know this might be kind of a letdown, but I can't show you the car running. It is running though. I finally got it. I had to swap the heads, put A9 cams in, but it's running. Sounds good. I let everything get hot, burn some oil off the exhaust and stuff, but I don't have any coolant in it yet, so I don't want to run it too long. But now I'm at a point where it's a mad dash to get everything buttoned up on it, get it loaded up, get everything packed so that we can leave in, what's today, Wednesday, so 2 days. Whew, wow. Cutting it close, to say the least. But yeah, she's running, just about ready to go. Chandler, Arizona, and Las Vegas, Nevada this weekend, next weekend. We're gonna see what she does. Hopefully we make some really low 9-second passes, if not an 8. Fingers crossed. But more so, let's just hope that she stays together after making some decent passes and that she drives on the trailer. Right now, I really want that more than anything. I'm so over pulling this engine. And we're just starting the season too, so I mean it's early yet. Fingers crossed, guys. Thank you for sticking in there with this one. If you weren't aware, this has been recorded over the course of about 3 weeks. Yeah. I'll get this up. Peace.